Oh, let the fun begin. I don't know which one was here. Let the fun begin. You guys come in the chat. Let me know you're here. I don't know if it give the hello or not to everybody to come in. What's up, Miss Martin? How are you tonight? I've got a decision I need to make, and I need advice from the subscribers that's been with me a while. Community moderation, participants, moderation, activity, reactions. I don't know what that means. The trolls have hit my channel. Somebody has shared my video and they went and edited it and did all the things they wanted to do to try to make me look worse, apparently. So I've been seeing like a bunch of comments. Doing good, got the flu. Bless your heart. It'll be okay. Went back on my cancer marker, so I think that's why it made me get sick, worrying. Well, I hope that you don't have cancer, dear. I'll pray for you. If you do, then you need to be eating and drinking a lot of baking soda. You need to alkali. You need to get all that acidity out of your body. If you're sick with the flu, honey and cinnamon, pour it on a spoon, drink it, take a swig of milk and swallow it down. Do that about 5-6 times a day. It'll knock that out of you. You got to get that garbage out. What you eat and drink is what affects your health. You can't be drinking soft drinks. Can't be eating a bunch of this artificial sugar is dangerous. It'll kill you. Bread's horrible for you. Just the food we eat. Go to a butcher shop and get real meat. Don't get this garbage from Food Line and Walmart. It's all garbage. It's horrible stuff. I'll try. I already beat breast cancer. God bless you, Tina, for doing that. I hope that God will see you through this tragedy because cancers, they've already got the cure for it. They just make too much money on it, hiding it. Yep, I'd get your ground meat. I get any kind of pork, any of your chicken. Go to the butcher shop, get it, and then you don't have to worry about it. It's just so much easier. It's so much safer, and the food is totally different. Like I said, Tina giving someone may give Tina a bunch of free meat from Food Line and from Walmart, and we got pork chops and kielbasa. We had like a pack of 4 of the little pork chop fillets, and I don't like pork chops like that. I like an 1.5-inch thick pork chop, but we got the little pack of fillets and some kielbasa sausages. And I put them on the grill, cooked them perfectly, seasoned them the same as I always do. And as soon as we took a bite, it was instantaneous. It tastes like that I just put a glass of chemicals in my mouth. That's how stark the taste was. It was just that obvious that I just ingested fake food. It was horrific, and I don't waste food. I clean my plate. If there's any leftovers, I don't care if it sits on a pot on the stove for 3 days. I'm still in there eating with a spoon. I don't care. I don't waste food. But when that stuff touched my mouth, and I looked at everybody else, I said, "Is that your pork chop?" And everybody's like, "Nope, that pork chop don't taste like pork chop." So we threw that stuff away. Luckily, we went back to the butcher shop this week. I got like $190 worth of meat. When I tell you I go to the butcher shop, I get everything I need meat wise. It is ungodly what we've done to our bodies just by eating what they feed us. It's sinful that we've abused our temples. Look at this. You have a good insurance to have cancer because of my cancer medication, $300 and some dollars out the door. Thank God I have insurance. Yep. But I would seek the right of, I would go with all natural as much as you can. But anybody else in here, comment, let me know. I have been the bane to the existence of bootlickers today. They have been hammering me hard. It's amazing the links people do to hide their tag because they don't pay their taxes or pay for that stuff. My tag's legal. You can't have a black powder pistol. You're a felon. Not true. You can't conceal a black powder pistol. It's against the law. Not true. You can't drive with a cell phone in your hand. That's a crime. And you're saying you don't break the law. Not true. It is amazing how dumb bootlickers are. I mean, they are the epitome of stupid. And these are the same people, mind you, that'll wear a Make America Great Again hat, big red letters, and I got Donald Trump shirt on. They got all the gear, while at the same time they say, The FBI is out of control. They persecuted Trump, but local law enforcement's the good guys. They love us. They're there for our safety. Wait a second. What? If it's corrupt from the top down, it doesn't stop because it gets to the local level. Oh, well, and this is what Sean Hannity, I quit watching Sean Hannity years ago on Fox. He said, it's the upper echelons of the FBI that's corrupt. The men and women that are on the streets walking a beat, you know, the soldiers, those are the good guys. No, they're not. No, they're not. They did exactly what their masters told them to do. The excuse back in the 30s was, I was just doing my job with a very thick German accent. I was just doing my job. I was just following orders. They don't get it no more. What's up, Eric? Good to see you here. Everybody else, whoever's in here, hit the thumbs up button and let me know who you are. I will put up with anything you want to give me, but don't get in here bumping your freaking gums and acting like a fool. And don't be rude to nobody. You guys know what my tolerance is for BS. If anybody has watched the videos here, what I got from my lawyer is exactly what was sent to her from the lawyer's office that does the body camera footage. It was all edited. I didn't edit it. Why would I edit it? Why would I edit it? I can't edit to start with. I'm not allowed to edit on this computer. Everyone that's been with my channel knows that I cannot edit from this computer. I can't do it. They will not allow me to. Just like Eric, you've been on here before and you've left comments and it just disappears right in front of your eyes. People have left thumbs up and it just disappears. Or I'll come out and my comments disappear from my page more than anybody else's comments. And I have found that somebody that has subscribed within the last 2 or 3 weeks is reporting every time I make a comment to silence me. Silence a day, silence a day, silence a day. So they've silenced me for the last 2 or 3 days now. That was a targeted story. The tag was just the excuse to throw them money lots on. You're right. It's a fishing expedition. But remember, they didn't even search the car. Why? They didn't search the car because they know I don't do drugs. So there was nothing good in the car. The whole point was to get me. I mean, these sheep are so dumb. I don't want to live in the world where people say, well, you didn't listen to that cop because you thought you had some kind of right to remain silent. You think you got some kind of right and you don't obey cops. You deserve to get slammed. You deserved it. If you don't listen to cops, you deserve to go to jail. What kind of world is that you want to live in again? Because I guarantee the same standards you hold me to, you won't stand up to that standard. Oh, anytime law enforcement pulls me over, I make sure I give them a license and I say, yes, sir, and no, sir. You'll still get murdered. And this is what the sheep do not understand because they don't want to, for one. They can't see from the boot being down halfway down their freaking throat. What they don't understand is my subscribers know that my local law enforcement has persecuted me for years. This isn't just a one-off, oh, golly gee, I'm just out breaking the law. You scared that little sawed-off trooper in your driveway, so they targeted you for it. No, they didn't target me for that. They targeted me for my channel. It isn't for the little tiny terror pig. What's up, Greg? Thanks for being here. Eric says, yep, I also keep being unsubscribed. That's what happens. My subscribers go up by 20. And then for the next 10 days, they'll take 1 or 2 away every single day and put me back where I started. I mean, for the people that have been with me for a while, have you not seen more anomalies on my channel than anyone else's? Comments disappearing, subscriptions disappearing, likes disappearing. I mean, everything is strange. The people that are on here that have been my subscriber for a long time, I eat a lot of crap. And I'll leave that crap on there and I don't delete it. But my comments disappear more than anybody else's. My comments. Because you guys know, I always comment to you guys. I'll at least leave a heart or a thumbs up or something. I'll respond to every single comment. But anytime I text, boom, they delete it. They delete it. It's deleted. Guess what? It's coming home tonight. And guess what? Longview was sitting right on the same road that they followed me home on last time. See, they're still pushing this garbage. It wasn't good enough they took my gun and destroyed it. That just wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough they took a little bit of my time, a little bit of my money, a little bit of my freedom. They ain't done because I haven't shut up. I mean, it was so stupid of them to start stalking me because I was silent for 4 months. But see, that scares the pigs. When you go silent, the pigs are like, oh my God, he must be plotting. He's probably plotting a terrorist attack. He's probably plotting to come over here and do something to us. Oh, the humanity. What are we going to do? For these dumb sheep that think that just because a law is on the books, that it should be lawful, that's disgusting. These laws are nothing more than gives cops away. I mean, do you think the founders would say, you know what, 250 years from now, I think that we should violate people's Fourth Amendment rights by having a dog sit down or bark a certain way? Now, we know that dogs are not that intelligent. We know that they can't really detect drugs per se because they're wrong 80% of the time. But what's an easy way to get around that Fourth Amendment? We'll just have a dog sit down and bark, and that's good enough for us because the state can take care of itself. Anyone in North Carolina can carry black powder, no license needed. No license needed. No permit to purchase and no permit to carry. You can carry any way you want to. GS 14-409.11. So why didn't the DA know this? Why? Because I wasn't allowed to talk to her. I wasn't allowed to talk to my attorney. I wasn't allowed to tell anybody. So and people will say, well, you got out lucky. Well, I may have gotten out lucky, but I don't want to plead to something I didn't do. I never resisted arrest. Ever. Order them through the mail. Only have to be 18. That's right. I can order them. I can order the ammunition. I can order the balls. I can order every single bit of it. Have it shipped to my front door. That's how it comes. It comes in the mail. If that's the case, every UPS and FedEx driver in the world is breaking the law because they've got a gun in a hidden box somewhere in their vehicles. But the whole point was it's harder to go to court to sue for civil rights violations when you have a no contest or a prayer for judgment or a guilty plea. It is harder in court. That's the whole point. Because guess what? Even according to the judge, that was a sweetheart deal. It's a sweetheart deal if I was guilty. I don't care what the trolls say. I did not resist arrest. If we're at a point in America, if a cop asks you something and you ask him a question and that's considered resisting arrest, it's gone. It's over. America's done. Somebody commented the other day, I said, we're one of the least free countries in the world. And somebody said, you got to be kidding. You know, there's North Korea. Here's the difference between North Korea and America. North Koreans know that they're in a political prison. Americans think they're free. We have more laws on the books than probably hundreds of countries combined. But we're free! Over 44,000 laws on the books, but we're free! The difference between me and people like James Freeman, and I like James Freeman, lost a little respect, like I said, when he said, I ain't trying to change the system. I'm going to just record it burning down. And that's his right to say that, but he's not necessarily for anarchy, but he thinks the whole Constitution and everything needs to be thrown out. I said, I don't think the Constitution needs to be thrown out. I think the majority of the amendments they made weakened it, softened it up, and turned it to freaking mush. The Constitution can't hardly stand on its own because congressmen and senators have just chopped that thing down to nothing. They have chopped it down to nothing. They have taken, and this is the problem. What is it, 27, 28 amendments? I think that's what it is. Those are supposed to protect us, we the people. Yet the government has over 44,000 laws that protect the government from us. Where's the fair at? Where's the freedom at? If I speed, why do I have to pay the state? Did I damage the road because my car's just too goddamn fast? If I don't wear a seatbelt, how did I harm the state? It's just a money grab. What's up, Gabby? It's just money grab. We got I see cash. And all these people say, well, the cops don't have quotas. They're out there trying to keep us safe. If cops were trying to keep us safe, instead of and if you're not from North Carolina, you don't understand. But in North Carolina, the troopers hide. They hide. They run up and down the road, and they have been hot in North Carolina the last 2 weeks. They have been everywhere. But they hide. They have undercover cars. If it's about safety and arresting you because it's not safe when you go too fast, then all they got to do is put a cop car in the middle of media and turn them freaking lights on, and everybody will slow down. But it's not about safety. That's why they hide. You see, because if a cop's on the side of the road, they got their lights on, and they're just sitting there, everyone's going to naturally slow down. But see, they hide because it's not about safety. It's about, I'm going to catch you speeding so I can take your money. I would suggest everybody go online and look up Stop a Douchebag. Stop a Douchebag. There's one from Moscow. There's Stop a Douchebag Live. There's Stop a Douchebag SPB. There's like 4 or 5 Stop a Douchebags. And what it is these guys in Russia, and they go out and they walk on public sidewalks and they record themselves. And people in Russia, they drive on the sidewalks. They park on the sidewalks. Why? Because Russia has been, their economy is booming since Joe Biden put them dangerous tariffs on them. Their economy has blown up. So now, because 30 years ago, people didn't even have cars. They had to walk everywhere they went because it was a communist nation. Well, now, guess what? Their economy's booming because of the gas, because of the liquid oil. Their economy is booming in Russia. So now the people that never had cars have all had cars. Now there's nowhere to park. So these people openly drive on the sidewalks. But the biggest danger in Russia right now are people getting killed on the sidewalks. So these guys go out, Stop a Douchebag, and they'll stand at an entrance where cars come and drive on sidewalks. They'll stand there, and they'll ask the people politely to not drive on the sidewalks. And if the people come up and drive on the sidewalk anyway, they'll put a sticker, a big sticker about that big that says, I spit on you, I'll park where I want to, right on the windshield of their car. And then they'll call law enforcement, and law enforcement will usually take an hour, 2, maybe even 3 hours to show up and then give a ticket for those people driving on the sidewalk. This is the only activism they can really do. And when it happens, cops don't care. Cops drive down the road and see people. They'll park, say Interstate 40. 2 lanes going one way, and then you got a median. In Russia, they'll park in one of the drive lanes and just get out and go shopping. So this drive lane, where there's 2 lanes, this whole lane is backed up, car after car after car, for miles. And it's perfectly normal because cops don't want to be writing tickets. They have traffic police, and then they have regular crime police. They have like thefts and assaults and stuff like that. It's for one police department. Then there's the traffic police who only handle traffic. Well, see, Russia hasn't figured out that we can make money. You know why? Because the Russian government cares more about its people than ours do. Did you know that? Well, they do. They don't feed them the garbage that we are fed. Did you know that? They don't feed us that garbage. There's none of this gay and transgender garbage in Russia. You know how much it costs for driving on the sidewalk in Russia? Say you just drove up and parked on the sidewalk in Russia. $30. That's it. That's it. If you get a DUI, what happens? Do you know? If they smell alcohol on you right then and there, they can breathalyze you. You have to blow on a breathalyzer test. And then right then and there, they take your license away right at that moment after you've blown, and then they'll assess you like a $350 fine. That's it. That's it. A DUI in Russia. What? Now, I'm sure the tally goes up with the more that you have, the more DUIs. But America is one of the few countries where the government makes money off arresting you and charging you with all these stupid crimes. Everybody hit the thumbs up. We got 11 people in here. Surely 7 other people don't hate me that much. Hit the thumbs up button. But I haven't read all the comments. I've been working today. They are so out of left field. How blind these people are. Well, you didn't listen to that Cotton. You deserved it. I saw how you faked falling down. Really? Really? You saw me fake that? Because as I demonstrated earlier, you didn't see that cop's arm rear back as hard as it can, whack, and rack me in the side. You see that? It's right at the 19-second video that I shared time and time again. But I faked it. One person said something like, I took pleasure in you screaming. And another one said, oh, I just knew you were going to say your shoulder popped out. Whose shoulder pops out of socket? That ain't real. That don't really happen. Really? Eric, how long you been with me? Eric, you've been here for a while, right? 2 or 3 years at least. How many times have I told people about my shoulder popping out of socket? Right? I mean, you can look at my shoulders right now. See how high this one, how this one is? Now look at that one. See right there? See that? That's where I hit the ground. It looks good now. That went all the way down to bone when I crashed my Harley Davidson at 45 miles an hour. And trust me when I tell you, it pops out of socket anytime it wants to. It's always been an issue. And especially when you got your hands behind your back and the cop puts his arm in between your hands with the handcuffs right here and puts his hand on your shoulder and wrenches on you, boy, bones aren't supposed to move that way. But the bootlickers, man, if you'd just listened, it'd all been all right. Nobody goes to the genesis of the problem. Why do we have so many laws in the books that bring on an interaction with law enforcement? Why? Because it's cops are never going to, and this is the thing people don't understand. They're like, why do the people that answer the phone at the cop shops, why are they so stupid? Why don't the people that answer the phone at the cop shop, why don't they listen to what the people describe and then they say, well, that's not really a crime. I can send a copy if you want me to, but it's not against the law to record in public. Just say recording in public. It's not against the law to recording in public. Why don't they train them to know what the law is? Why? Because that would be like a security guard standing outside of Walmart and saying, nope, we don't want your money today. There's other stores you can shop at, but today we've got enough money of our own. We don't need you here. Because cops will be cutting their hand off. They'll be like, oh no, that's money we can't get today if we turn them away. No, we need every reason in the world to have an interaction with the government. Every interaction to have with a person, because as long as the cops are talking to you, they're trying to find a way to take your money or take your freedom. Is that hard to believe? What I found funny is I told everyone that Longview Police Department was corrupt, and they proved me correct. Don't blame the editing on that body camera on me, because I didn't do it. I made the video the very next day. I said, I pulled in the driveway. I got out of my truck. He yelled at me to get back in, and I got back in. And when he was talking to me, he said, you don't have a tag. You don't have a tag. You don't have a tag. And I said, there is a tag. Walk back there. There is a tag. Walk back there. There is a tag. Walk back there. Where's that at? Where was the probable cause? Where's the dash camera at, guys? In every district in North Carolina, there are dash cameras. There are a lot of places in North Carolina where they don't even have body camera, but they have a dash camera. Why didn't I get the dash camera? Why is that? Why? Because the dash camera proves probable cause. Guess what else I got? Because my lawyer didn't request anything. Isn't that weird? That I requested everything and my lawyer just didn't do anything. Anybody think that I had ineffective counsel? Anybody believe that? You see, once you get put on their list, they do anything in the world to hurt you. In North Carolina, in most states, if you've been a felon for 20 years, you can apply to get your rights back, like your right to vote. You can get your gun rights back. But if you have a charge like concealed carry, then the sheriff has to approve it to be able to get that off, to get those felonies off. So once you have another crime like that, then it tells the sheriff, oh, well, that guy, he's been carrying weapons he should not have. And see, I can guarantee you $1 to a donut, that dumb DA Miss Taylor, whoever she is, she has no idea the difference between a 9mm and a black powder 22 mag. I guarantee she doesn't have one clue the difference between a compound bow and a freaking crossbow. I guarantee she doesn't have a clue the difference between a Harley Davidson and a freaking Yamaha. She has no goddamn clue. She's sitting in an office and she's a concealed weapon. Well, okay. It's a gun. Can't have a gun concealed. And then the dumb sheep, you're a felon. Felons can't have guns. That's against the law. As soon as they run your tag number, they know everything they need to know. Who the car is registered to, if it has insurance on it, and a pic of the registered owner. That's all the info they need, period. Felons who have served their time should have their rights. Absolutely, Bush. If you've served your time, you ought to have every one of your rights restored. If not, then I must be too dangerous to be walking the streets. And a simple drug conviction from I was 18 years old and I'm 49 now, 18, 28, 38, 48, 30 years ago, and I don't have my gun rights back? Yet I went this long and I've never shot anybody? Went this long and never had a conviction for a violent crime? Ever? Donald Trump did this week he did a executive order strengthening the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is strong enough on its own. Shall not be infringed. Period. But all these cop-sucking bootlickers, they don't get it. I don't care. The most constitutional sheriff in America does not want you to have a gun. They don't. You see them out fighting every day to get rights back for anybody? They don't care. They don't want you to be armed because the majority of them are cowards. I just don't understand. Come on, give us the scream. I want to hear it again. I'll give you a scream. Listen to this one. You hear me scream? There you go. Nobody gets it? Where were all these brave law enforcement officers during COVID? Oh, they were at parks arresting mothers with their children. Remember that? A mother takes her child to the park to play. Oh, cops got to show up and arrest the mother. And then threaten her with, well, if you ain't got somebody to take your kids, we'll call social services in the government agency that traffics children. Will be trafficking your children tonight. You got to go to jail because you didn't listen to the mandate for the governor. Mandates are not laws. Sorry. How many sheriffs stood up for your rights under COVID? Any? This is what I don't understand. How did Ron DeSantis in Florida become the most free governor under COVID when Kristi Noem never shut her country down at all? She kept it going. She didn't do any COVID restrictions at all. She said, we're open for business. Keep on rolling. But Ron DeSantis, he shut it down too. He went so far as his government agencies defied him and locked the place down. There's still government agencies in Florida where you just can't walk in the building. Well, we're still under COVID protocol. Because why? Because people on the left are the ones running the government. If you don't know that, 60,000 people have already quit the White House. Did you know that? 60,000 have stopped working for the U.S. government. They're all on the left. You go to a post office, you tell me the people at the post office, they're on the right. They're on the right side of history? No, they're not. Then ask yourself, how in the world did they steal that election in 2020? How do you do it? You just open the right mail or you discard the right mail. It's that simple. Six thumbs up. Let me get another one. Anybody else going to comment? Any other questions? Well, and listen, guys. My first post on Facebook was probably 13, 14 years ago. And as soon as I posted, I was just under the assumption that we had free speech in America. See, people my age, and people born after me, like my children, it's not the same. They've never knew what free speech was because they've been hindered by social media since they were born. They've been hindered. It's not ingrained in them that I'm allowed to say anything I want. Even threatening somebody is free speech to me. I don't do it because it's against the law. But we're a nation of pussies. Pardon my French. When I was growing up, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Well, when are we going to get back to that? Because if you look at all the hate, it always comes from the left. Because the right's a bunch of cowards. Say something. This whole case that I'm under was about my right to free speech. What? Put a 1 in the comments if you guys listen to the audio of the police chief threatening my speech. See, the dumb sheep that just came here because they want to pile on because, oh, I'm glad you got arrested. How dare you scream at the cops? How dare you defy law enforcement? Their opinion would be the exact same. See, they can't piece the timeline together. They just think, oh, those good cops were doing their job. They just you just didn't have a legal tag on your truck, and because your tag wasn't legal, that's why you got pulled over. They could have wrote you for no insurance and bad sticker and all that. Really? They could have, even though I have insurance and a good sticker? Really? Nobody gets that? And nobody said a word when they threatened Mason. Get back. 13-year-old kid sitting out front. He was 12 then. In his underwear, recording the video. You got to go back. You got to go back. You got to get back to the porch. Why would they drive back to the porch? Because they didn't want him to record. And then they put in the report, oh, he was acting for the camera to show that we were being violent towards him. With a show of hands in the audience, who thinks that traffic stop was A-okay? Who thinks everything went according to plan? Not according to the law, but according to their plan. It went according to their plan. If you guys think that all that was over a cop not seeing my tag, you've lost the plot. I'll go over the timeline again. 2 weeks prior, I said, listen, guys, I let the time lapse on my lawsuit. I didn't do it right. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know exactly how to go about it because lawyers don't want to take your case unless you've been beaten half to death and shot and murdered. They don't care. It's not enough money for it. Doesn't pay them enough. And if you're in that certain area, these lawyers have to work with these cops every day. So it wouldn't look good if they go suing the cops. Because remember, lawyers are just as corrupt as the cops are because they work together every single day. They're scratching each other's backs all the time. So the chief was nuts. Gabby, apparently you and I are the only ones that think the chief was out of line. Just like that tiny terror pig. He threatened law enforcement. I guarantee I'd be in jail if I threatened law enforcement. Oh, we were just, we were holding out to see if he's going to threaten more. Really? How did I threaten you? How did I threaten law enforcement? Because I exposed you? I didn't expose them. All I did was turn it. Look, the best comment I saw when I first got arrested is somebody said, how to expose bad cops. Turn on camera. Pretty simple. What point are we at in America where as citizens, we have to have a dash camera and we have to record our interactions with law enforcement? See, cops write that off. They say, well, you're just a troublemaker. You just hate cops. That's why you want to record. You want to get us in a gotcha. No. Cops lie. Nobody takes our word in court because these cops are certified. Whatever they say is gold and whatever I say is just a lie. The judge just expects me to lie, but we put cops on the stand that lie through their... How many lies did you guys see in that report? You guys read both reports. How many lies did you find in those reports? The whole thing was a lie. Like I asked that sorry attorney, I said, if this isn't about my speech, this isn't about my channel, why'd they put all that sovereign citizen crap on there? Because do sovereign citizens say, walk back there and look at my tag? Do sovereign citizens say, What's your reasonable articulable suspicion? Is that what sovereign citizens say? I don't think so. I've never seen a sovereign citizen say that. And the term sovereign citizen was made in 1971 by a guy affiliated with the government. The same people that made up the term conspiracy theorist made up the term sovereign citizen. Same MO. Just like how the government's been paying all these news agencies, the Washington Post and Politico, and who's the other one, the New York Times. Our tax dollars be going to pay them so they'll write bad about Donald Trump and write bad about people that support Donald Trump. Isn't that weird? How they had all the bad stuff to say about the enemy of the state? The same thing happened with us. The government hates us. So, well, if you record us, you must hate cops. If the cops ask me, I have to tell them the truth. I hate you. So, somebody tell me what good comes from law enforcement. Just shared a video a minute ago. A guy on Facebook. He's got one of those predator poaching channels in North Carolina. Goes to High Point, North Carolina. Got a convicted child molester on video admitting to child porn on his phone in front of the cops. He admitted, yes, I've got child porn and I masturbate to it on my phone. He told that to the cops standing there, and the cop said, well, we don't have enough probable cause to take his phone, but this ain't going to end here. We're going to handle it sometime. Where was the good cop? You see, cops will go to the end of the earth. They will lie on a report. They will slam you. They'll stomp on you. They'll make fun of you. They'll get in your face with a flashlight. They'll threaten to take your freedom away. They'll do all that because they couldn't see a tag. But God forbid you threaten the life of a child. Well, sorry, guys. I just ain't got enough probable cause. That's where we're at. Cops protect pedophiles. Just like, why are cops so hard on the drug dealers, but the government's the one bringing the drugs in? Because they don't want competition. He had zero critical thinking skills. He's emotionally immature and condescending. The chief and the little boys working for him. All that trooper had to do was run the tag number and tell you it was hard to see it. That's what I told him. That's what I said. This could have been easy. He said, you're right. All you had to do was listen. I said, no. All you had to do was say, Mr. Townsend, I didn't see your tag on there, but now I see it. Let me run it and make sure it's legit. All he had to do. But that wasn't the point. They know I've got a legal tag. They see it every day in my videos. They know I'm legit. They know I don't have drugs. They know I don't break the law. So what did they do? What did the chief say? Well, Mr. Townsend, we're going to go through all your social media, and when I find a crime, I'm going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. That's pretty much cut and dry. That's like me saying, oh, I'm going to go kill this person. They live at this address right there, and it's going to be done on Friday night. But my attorney says, oh, but that's really not relevant in court. Really? It's not? The DA did not want that cop on the stand because she knew he was full of crap too. She knew it. She knew he's a liar. Even my attorney, the little bit that I got to talk to her previous in her office, she said, Longview isn't corrupt. I said, well, how do you know that? She said, they're too goddamn stupid to be corrupt. They think it's lawful for them not to give you public records. I said, well, you're wrong with that. They are corrupt and they're stupid. But who holds them accountable? Who's going to hold them accountable? Who's going to do anything about it? Government always protects government, no matter what. Government will always protect government. And then when you speak out about it, we're going to vilify you by calling you a sovereign citizen. Trooper had to do with run a tag number. They wanted it to escalate into something. Yes, I don't understand why you didn't do the trial and have the officer on the stand. I worry about how much you hate cops. I'm praying for you. Teresa, I don't know if you listened to the lawyer right then and there on video. I wasn't going to get a chance because all the information that I had for her, she wouldn't listen to it. So if I got, see, and it's the thing people don't understand. When you go to court, that judge will tell you to sit down and shut up, and he'll only listen to the attorney. I could have went to court, and that attorney would have buried me. I didn't have a choice.
That's what people don't understand. That's called being under duress. That attorney did not care. If I'd have said, nope, we're going to fight it, she'd say, okay, let's go in the courtroom now and see what happens. Well, you get somewhere and sit down, dude. That's like 10 times now you've walked back and forth. Teresa, I hope you never have to go through the process. And if you have, well, maybe you had a different experience. But when you got a court-appointed attorney, their job is to collect the money and bury you in court. You see, because if I would have represented myself, I would have brought the man up from the sheriff's department that's in charge of gun permits. I would have subpoenaed him to court. I would have subpoenaed the guy at the concealed weapons class. I'd have subpoenaed him to court. I'd have subpoenaed both those cops, and I would have subpoenaed the chief. And I would have subpoenaed the one cop over there that I thought was a good guy. And I don't say good guy because he's a good guy because he's always treated me decently. But my opinion of him has changed. Why has my opinion changed? Because how does he work at a department knowing what they just did to me without saying a word? If you're a good cop, you cannot survive around bad cops because your soul will eat you alive. Your conscience, every time. If I get around somebody that I know is evil, it eats at me. When I get around somebody that there's something off, it gets me down deep. Gobby, quit. So how can a good cop work at an agency knowing what they did to me? Not good cops. This is the problem with law enforcement. And this is the excuse. The excuse is, well, if I disobey that blue line when I need backup and I call, they won't show up. Well, you know what that means? That means you need to be tougher. That means when you're in a dangerous situation, you need to stand back and take your time. If they're going to abandon you, then fine. You document it and you do your freaking job. But law enforcement don't think that way. They don't. Oh, man, I just can't. I can't risk losing my pension. Think about how coward. You think the founding fathers would have said that? Well, guys, I mean, I'm rich now, but if we go and we rebel against King George, we might lose our fortunes. We might end up broke after this if we don't win. Guess what? The founding fathers did go broke after the Revolutionary War. They went broke. A lot of them died miserable lives because they stood up for what was right. It's just like the apostles of Jesus Christ. They refused to deny him as being God. Some were hung upside down. Others had their skin filleted. Paul was dipped in chicken grease. They died miserable deaths. But what come out of their mouth at their death was, Jesus is Lord. I will not deny my Savior. That's what they said. Where's the men at? I don't get it. Exactly right down range. Yep, that attorney that was mind blowing. Tell that sweet pea that I said hello. I'm being mean to him. He's lost. He's lost. I paid an attorney in Lenore $1,000 one time that wouldn't talk to me but once before my court date that stood up and played me guilty with zero discussion. There you go. They're the same everywhere downrange. They're the same everywhere. Court-appointed attorneys work for the state. See, that's where people don't understand the justice system. They don't get it. The judge is supposed to be a total separate entity. The judge is supposed to be over here on an island by themselves, and they're supposed to determine, does this person lie or did this person lie? But in America, the judge is on the side of the state, and the judge believes the prosecutor and the cops. And they're just listening for at least a little bit of your side to determine, well, maybe do we have to cut him free? But most of the time in American courts, it doesn't even come down to right or wrong. There's some attorney in the middle saying, hey, man, I'll give you this next week if you give me this today. Let's barter. Let's compromise. It's a compromise. What happened to being innocent until proven guilty? What about fighting for me? Well, I've never had an attorney that fought for me. Instead, let's get in there and we're going to bargain. Let's let me get let's knock off resistance. No, resistance. I'll take resist. Here we go. Here comes the smart person. Your lawyer cannot plead for you. Have the vocal to plead yourself. They're gone fishing, just don't know nothing about the law, do they? Gone fishing knows nothing about knows nothing about the law. If you get in a courtroom and you go against your counsel, that judge will tell you to sit down and shut up. My hands were tied the day before. When I walked into court, it was over. It was over. I didn't have a choice. Now, if she would have prepared with me ahead of time, we could have discussed the case and I would have fought it right then and there. But she didn't even want to meet with me. That was the whole point. That's why she said, I know I haven't talked to you about this case yet till today. Literally, I walked out of that office with her and walked right into the courtroom and did the case. Right then and there. She was never going to fight it. Never. But, oh, you're just a psycho. You're just a psycho. Wasn't even courtroom. You watch your case on TV from county jail. It's corrupt. It's corrupt. The whole system's corrupt. Why are there so many men and women in jail today for nonviolent offenses where they didn't hurt anybody? Why? I don't get it. Let me go pick something up real quick. People don't get it. People don't understand. But these people don't care. People don't care. People think that it's like Law and Order. When my mama first went to court with me 30 years ago, she had no idea the court process. She thought it was just like on TV. Your lawyer may not be the best, but he's going to get in there and fight for you. Lawyers don't fight for nobody anymore. That's why the DUI lawyer on YouTube, that's why I liked him so much. Because, man, he gets up in there and he'll make a cop look stupid. He'll impede his credibility on the stand. He'll rip that cop apart. All over DUI, I'm thinking, why don't we have lawyers that do that? Because they get in that system. They get in there and they get out of law school. They're going to make a difference. The first year they realize this isn't anything that I went to school for. I'm not using my skills as a lawyer. I'm just here bargaining. I'm taking this person's freedom and compromising it away. They don't fight for nothing. The lawyers eat lunch with the DA. They're all friends, and they're laughing at the defendant the whole time. I want a lawyer that hates the prosecutor. I want a lawyer that hates the state. I want a lawyer that's going to get in there and fight for me like it's his family going to jail. But they don't exist. Even the most expensive lawyers on there don't care. Used to be a lawyer, and I don't know if he still practices in this town. His name's Steve Brackett, and he was the best of the best. And it was a custody case between my fiance that was murdered, her and her husband. Well, her husband, mom and dad were multimillionaires. They were Freemasons. They had the money. And my attorney, my ex-attorney, he took the case on, and he said as soon as they found out Steve Brackett was the opposing counsel, he said, I've got to charge $5,000 more. He said, this man is going to drown me in paperwork. And I looked at him. I said, why don't you drown him in paperwork? He said, because the judge won't let me get away with it. I said, how does this attorney over here have the power that you don't? He eats lunch with the judges more than I do. I got granted a continuous when I started hollering about suing. Got a different attorney that got me bail granted immediately. It's about who you know. That's how you know it's all corrupt. It's all corrupt. Why don't these bootlicking morons get it? But they for one, they lack empathy. That they lack the compassion it takes to look at another human being and say, is it necessary to knock him on the ground? Is it really necessary to put him in handcuffs because the cop couldn't see his tag? Is it this? We're going to take this man's freedom, cost him money, hurt him. We're going to hurt him because they hurt me. We're going to do all that because a cop couldn't see a tag. Mind you, legally tagged and insured, all inspections up to date, all lights and signals worked, everything's good, no warrants, nothing. But because the cop couldn't see a tag, we're going to do all that. How do these people look at that and say, oh, yeah, that's some gun. How dare you speak out? That's the whole point. They don't like the speech. It isn't about anything else. They didn't like me saying no, which I didn't say. No one heard me say, I will not give you my license. Never said it. The cop put that in a report. He said, I didn't say no. I never said no. I just asked a question. And if these bootlickers think 38 seconds, because it was longer than that, 38 seconds and we need to be reaching in and grabbing somebody, because you notice that wasn't in the report. He didn't say, I reached in the car and pulled Mr. Townsend out. He didn't say that. He said, I asked Mr. Townsend to get out several times. He slowly got out, put his hand over his gun where his gun was, got out, and I told him not to look at me, and I grabbed him gently by the wrist and turned him around and put him softly up against the truck. That boy needs to write more novels. Maybe he needs to write novels that don't affect somebody's life. Until it happens to them, some people will never believe it. They're denying their own eyesight because they've been raised by weak mothers and fathers that watch MSNBC, they watch CBS, or they watch Fox News, and everything they tell them on there is true. Cops are the good guys, and anybody else that fights that system is just some conspiracy theorist, crazy person. Check full of false pride. The false pride is insane. I don't know what channel shared my video. It's one of those bootlicking channels, I'm sure, because I got like 30 people all at one time. Oh, I laughed like hell when you were screaming. I knew you were going to fake an injury. I knew all that. Oh, I loved it when you said you're an old man. I loved it when you were screaming for your kid. I love to see you. These people take pleasure in somebody's pain. What kind of sickness is that? I'm the bad guy because I feel compassion for my fellow man. But these scum of the earth, oh, I like it when somebody gets slammed by cops. You earned that one, didn't you? Really? And the worst thing is law enforcement think the same way. You mean that dumb son of a bitch didn't listen to you the first time? Well, you showed him, didn't you? Nothing is truly illegal. It's simply legal for the right price. It's true. It's a war on the poor. It's a war on the poor. Because if you've got money, there's nothing going to stop you from committing a crime. It's just like in sports. Oh, man. They fined me $20,000 for poking that guy's eye out playing basketball. I only made $14 million this year. I don't know how I'll ever pay that $20,000. Somebody want to take one of my Rolexes and just give it to the dang guys in charge? Needs to write the novel 5 Shades of Liars. Yep. It's evil. I guess the bootlickers left. 8 people left in here. How is it, guys? When I had 200 subscribers, I could get 30 to 40 people in a live stream, but now I got 744 subscribers and I can't keep but 8. Like a jackass the other day said, look at him. He's filming Venus. Venus comes up in that direction. That way. Venus ain't this way. I ain't happy. I make probably 20 or 30 calls every week when I see somebody get abused by law enforcement. Now, I don't know how many of you have called on my behalf. Whoever has, thank you. I appreciate it. But cops don't care. They don't care. They're not going to do anything to risk their paycheck. Debt is their master. Debt is the slave master in America. The interview that one of the ones that's made me the sickest was James O'Keefe Media Group. And he went down to the border and he had some whistleblowers from ICE and Customs Border Enforcement. And this whistleblower Border Patrol guy was like, yeah, man, we've been babysitting these illegals. We've been bringing them in and getting them health care and feeding them and taking them to their destination and putting them on buses. We did all that, man. I can't afford to speak out. Coward. I can't afford to turn in I can't afford to report the Biden administration for doing this. Coward. Where have all the men gone? Where are they at? Where are they at? Go on these Navy SEAL podcasts. These guys talk about going to foreign land and just killing people, and they talk about sniping and lighting bombs and doing this, that, and that. But they won't do anything to help save us here at home. Freaking cowards. But they're brave. I'm going to take this fully automatic gun. I'm going to take the best weaponry in the world, go to this foreign nation that we're going to invade with no right to invade, and we're just going to kill them all. And then I'm going to come back home and open up a YouTube page, and I'm going to be a hero. Where's the heroes at? Why do I seem like the anomaly? Why do I seem like the one that's not going to sell out? I called everyone in New Jersey crazy for seeing drones until they admitted they were real and FAA-approved flights. Yeah, and I don't believe that narrative either. I don't believe that narrative. If anyone can't truly see that what happened to you was going to happen regardless of what you did, you were strictly there for a ride. That was all right. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you saying that. It did not matter what I did. Would not have mattered. I was taking the ride. Didn't matter. And they got the youngest one on the force. They got the rookie to do it. Because what I tell you qualified immunity means, he's just too goddamn stupid to know better. They had the crime picked out, or the ordinance violation picked out, before I even got in my truck. Doubt me? They had it picked out. The chief says, I watch every one of your videos. Me and my staff watch your videos. I've been pulled over for troopers. When North Carolina State Trooper pulls you over, you're getting a ticket. They have pulled me over with the same rack on my truck and never said a word, but somehow they read my tag. It's weird. I guess when the blue lights went off and they got out and they walked up and they saw my tag there, I guess they saw it. Never got a ticket for it then. And these are cops also that I yelled and screamed at and acted a fool to as well. I showed my ass to them too. See, that's what threw this cop off, because I didn't show my ass. I didn't just start cussing him automatically. I sat back to see what he had to say. It's all planned. See, that reaction got him off guard. He thought I was just going to come off the goddamn handle. That's what he thought. My phone was dead. Couldn't record it. Even now, today, I cannot believe they edited that body camera footage. I've gotten body camera footage 7 or 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I've got 3 more somewhere. Body camera footage from where I've been pulled over for different stupid things. And it's never been edited. Every one of these right now, when I put them in, there's 30 seconds of silence when it turns on and it goes back 30 seconds. It shows you video, but it doesn't have the audio for 30 seconds. Every one of these has that silence in every single one of them. There are no edits. There are no deletions. If it's a different camera, it starts from the moment he turns it on to the moment he turns it off. Every single one of these right here has body camera footage unedited on it. If what they did was 100% good, why is it edited? Why was it deleted? Why was the dash cam nowhere to be found? But those sheep will never admit that. They'll say, I edited it. Let's see if I can bring something up. It is frustrating. You know, I can't really say that what happens. Let me show you something. If I can. Because I've uploaded every video that was on that card, I uploaded. But I just did not share them because it's got private information. I already shared too much private information, but I want to share it all, but I have no way to delete it. But here's one. Axon body camera right here. Draft. That's one. And that's 34 minutes long. That's at the hospital. Here's the second one, 1 minute and 41 seconds. Draft. Why would there be a video 1 minute and 41 seconds long? Turn it on, turn it off. Here's another one. "22 minutes long. Draft. Here's another one. 2 minutes and 22 seconds long. Draft. Here's another one, 1 minute and 14. They were just turning it on and off. No, they weren't. It played the whole way through, and they went and they edited and deleted the footage. I'm showing you what they gave me on the card. Minute 14. Here's another one, 49 minutes and 18 seconds long at the hospital. Here's another one, 1 minute and 50 seconds long, another edited video. Here's another one, 10 minutes and 57 seconds long. Here's another one, 2 minutes and 46 seconds long. And there's one Mason made. 15 videos I got on that one card, but I didn't edit any of it. They edited every bit of it. They deleted what they didn't want, and they edited out what they didn't want, and they showed everything according to what they had written down. He couldn't even watch the video and know to edit a video and keep it straight with the freaking report. He couldn't even keep that straight. Dash cam go to a hard drive in the car and to the cloud. It's always retrievable if they want it to be. And this is what, can you believe that attorney said they can't edit body camera footage? She's so stupid, she doesn't know. They forward it to a different file, and then they edit that file and then send that copy that file onto a disk or a card and then mail that. Oh, they can't edit body camera footage. Have you ever heard something so stupid from a woman that says, I've been doing this 45 years? Angie, I'm trying to read your comment. I am a body camera channel and saw your video tonight on another channel. I'm intrigued now. Did you share your son's footage? Note, I found your channel and saw you live, so haven't looked at my video. My son, all it does on his, because his phone can't upload big things, so it only gave 19 seconds, and he didn't get the full interaction. He got the interaction where I got slammed. But from there on out, he was recording. It's on his phone right now. Mason, where's your phone at? But he has no way to upload the whole thing. For some reason, his phone won't load in big things. But Angie, if you review body camera footage, then you should know the body camera footage I got has been hacked, jacked, and whacked. And it wasn't me. Everybody knows on my channel, when I share body camera footage, I share it all. For one thing, I'm not allowed to edit. I am a targeted individual. My computer is hacked. Everything I touch is hacked. I get followed by airplanes and drones, and you can think that sounds insane all you want, but what I say is the truth. And ask my subscribers in here. They've seen it with their own eyes. They've seen an airplane write my name in the sky. Yes, it's insane. But when you get put on a terrorist watch list for no reason whatsoever, that's what happens. Just as Eric said, no matter what happened that night, I was going to go to jail. If you go back and you're going to review what the chief says on the phone recording, Mr. Townsend, I'm going to go through. I watch all your YouTube videos. I'm going to go through there and I'm going to look for a crime to arrest you for. We've opened up an intelligence investigation into you. We've been watching you. We take photos of you and your family. Sorry, it startled you that we're following you around, but we're going to find a crime and I'm going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law for your speech. Motive? Anybody? If I say I'm going to go out and kill somebody because they screwed my wife, what do they call that in court? Motive. So when the chief of police says, "Oh, we're gonna find a crime to arrest you for," what do you call that? Probable cause. Hey, brother, was this traffic stop a view that I heard about? Been out of the loop a little. Yep, it was. I don't know if you heard about it, but it's me. She blew my mind with that garbage. I don't know what you're talking about, Gabby. What channel is your arrest on? It's on this channel. But it's all edited. Yet I didn't edit it. I didn't touch it. Let me. I think I shared the the picture of what they sent me in the mail. It's they edited all the footage. Because if you guys who were here remember, the next day after I got slammed, I came in and I told you what happened. I said it seemed like 38 seconds and he was already pulling me out. Just scroll on down and you'll see the body camera footage. It's in there. Longview PD being corrupt like they always are. And if anybody in here doesn't think Longview's corrupt, this is enough for you right now. Remember, this started several years ago when Mason laid out of school. He was like 8 years old. Lays out of school, hides in my camper all day long when I thought he was at school. So the school bus comes by. Mason doesn't get off the bus. So I'm like, well, that's strange. I saw him get on the bus this morning. Weird. So I called Tina. I said, honey, where's Mason? He should be getting off the bus anytime. I said, the bus came and Mason wasn't on it. She's like, oh, maybe he missed the bus. I'll call the school. Tina calls the school. Mason's nowhere to be found. Mason didn't show up for school. If anybody understands my animus to that child now. So then we all go in a freaking panic. We all freak out because my son is missing. So Tina gets on phone, calls law enforcement. They show up over here. Guess what they do? One cop walks around the yard, and the other cops start interrogating me. Just tell us where the body is, man. I've got severe PTSD. Severe PTSD. I don't like cops. I don't like trauma. I don't like people around me. So here are the cops interrogating me at my house. Where's he at? Where'd you put the body? One cop went up in my attic. I'm like, what's he doing in that? My son's, he can't get up in the attic. Well, maybe you hid the body in the attic. So the whole time they're here interrogating me. Nobody's knocking on doors except my next door neighbor, Sam, who's 63 years old, is knocking on every door asking where my son is. I come online after the cops are on the way. This is after I report. I come online and say, guys, help me. My son is missing. I don't know where my son is missing. And everybody else said, well, you just did all that for attention. I said, no, I didn't. He was gone. I did not know where he was. I was terrified that the gang stalkers are real. If you don't know it, targeted individuals are real. We exist. You know, the tinfoil hat people that think the government's out to get them. We're real. So I come online and say, dude, everybody pray that my son is found. So what do the cops do? Tina gets here. Tina gets on Facebook, posts on Facebook, my kid's missing. Somebody help search. People start showing up here to help search for my son. What does law enforcement do? They get me, and I go to the police department. In 4 hours, they interrogate me. Where's the body at? Come on, man. Come on, man. We can get you off the death penalty. Well, just help us help you. We know that you got some issues, and I know that you think the government's out to get you, but you posted on YouTube, so maybe this is what's going on. Let us help you. Just tell us where the body is. While I'm there getting interrogated, Tina's here at home, and they're interrogating her. Miss Tina, listen, we can get you. We can make sure that you don't get charged. We're sure you didn't do anything to hurt your son, but just tell us where the body is. Work with us, and we'll make sure that you don't get charged. They're bargaining with her to turn me in for killing a kid that wasn't dead. They did nothing to find him, but they're trying to get me for murder. Then I had to go the next day after they found him. That night, everything slowed down. The cops were out front. Mason finds his cue to sneak in the back door and go crawl in the bed like he'd been there the whole time just sleeping. So I hear a ruckus in the house. I'm on the front porch. I'm still crying. I'm upset. When your kid goes missing, and you're stalked and targeted like I am, you assume the worst, because when your kid goes missing, you're supposed to assume the worst. So I'm like, let me announce it. The cop's like, no, man, I can't let you in. I said, it's my goddamn house. Let me in. No, man, I need to tell you something. What? What do you need to tell me? He said, he just snuck in the house. He's in the bed. Don't be mad. Don't be. I said, what do you mean don't be mad? And that cop, I actually had respect for him, and I was so overcome and overwhelmed with emotion. I just grabbed him. I said, will you give me a hug, please? And I stood right there in the door in my goddamn house and held that pig in my arms and cried like a freaking baby because my son was found safe. But then they called me back. I had to go back the next day to this cop shop again with the State Bureau of Investigation and go over the whole goddamn story again, how I did all that for YouTube fame. I faked that whole thing. They tried to get me with a crime again, saying I faked all that. I am not that good of an actor. And when I dare get on because they already watch me, because of my police accountability on Facebook, what I share on Facebook about all these bad cop videos. So then I started saying, you know what? I'd always talked good about Longview Police Department up to that time. I never had any, and I told people Longview's good. They don't give me any trouble. They really don't. I didn't know that they had been harassing me. I didn't realize that the cops were part of the problem reporting me. I had the code Nazi up there came, and I had a coffin in the front yard for Halloween. So instead of sending me a letter on my front door, because that's what they do, they put it on your front door, a notice saying you can't have this in your yard. Instead of giving that to me directly, they went to the people we leased from to try to get us kicked out. They said, you have 5 days to remove that from the yard, or we're going to start fining the leasing company. They tried to get me kicked out then. 3 or 4 different times they had some kind of report to try to get me put out of my house for my First Amendment speech. So when I started talking about Longview Police Department, they upped the ante. Then they started following me and pulling me over for stupid stuff. And during this time, cops would come to the door 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, knock on the door. We need to come in and search. There's been a 911 call from your address. Somebody says that you're holding them hostage, that they're in the basement. 4 or 5 different times they showed up at my house. So supposedly that a deaf dialer, when a deaf dialer from a deaf and mute person had called them. They didn't know who it was. They didn't have a return phone number. But the people on the deaf mute dialer said that 911 had been called from this address and I'd kidnapped somebody. They raided my house 4 or 5 different times, terrifying everybody in the house because they got to come in and search. And you can't say no in extenuating circumstances. But when I go on YouTube and I start telling people about it, that's when they took umbrage with it. That's when they come out here and trespass me from the private property in front of the house. I'm the only person in the world trespassed from that property out front. Because somebody said that I was threatening to kill someone with my crossbow because I would practice shooting my bow on private property. So this isn't me. When you listen to the whole backstory of what they've done to me, it's been a targeted response every single time. And they don't like it. The chief of police on recording, it's on my channel, who says what? I watch all your videos. You don't like law enforcement. You're a very dangerous, violent man, Mr. Townsend. I'm going to go through all your videos and I'm going to find a crime. I'm paraphrasing. That's what he said. That's what he meant. But I'm just the guy that hates cops. I'm just a sovereign citizen who don't want to listen to what cops say. that how you got all your current 45? I don't have 45,000 subs. 45,000 subs. Or is that Angie got those subs? Angie, if you got a channel that big, thank God for being here. I don't know if your job is to make somebody look good or not, but if you talk to my subscribers, you'll find out the down low on me. No, I'm not a criminal. I don't go out and break the freaking law. But when law enforcement targets you and they watch your YouTube channel, they will watch you until they find a crime, and then they will arrest you for that. They'll pull you over to try to get a reaction. So when I say that not only is the government targeting me, but local law enforcement, pretty easy to see. Oh, okay. I can't see sarcasm on this in there. You know how I come apart with comments. I get attacked so much you get used to it. But if they got me dead, if what they did was lawful and legal, why doesn't the body camera show everything? Why? Why isn't it on the, where's the dash camera? Why doesn't the dash camera show the probable cause? If they pulled me over, if that's the reason they pulled me over, why doesn't the dash camera exist? Why? You know why? Because from the dash of that Ford Explorer, you can see my tag. And if the dash camera shows my tag from that Ford Explorer, the whole freaking stop was unlawful because there's no probable cause. But that don't come out in court when your attorney works for the same state that's prosecuting you. So I'm taking donations to buy me another pistol. It's only $300 for my 22 mag, and it gets me back right where I was. And people can ask me, and it really, and I don't say this to mock God. I don't do it to mock my faith, because I do not take it lightly. Because of my hate, my animus for law enforcement, there's a chance that I'll have to burn in hell forever. And I don't take that lightly at all. But I cannot support people that destroy lives all for money. I cannot support an organization who will protect a pedophile, but will go to the ends of the earth to take the freedom and the money away from a man just coming home from a long, hard day. That is not justice. That's why our founder said there should never be a standing army in this free nation known as America. Stupid chief admitted they were stalking you. Yep. You want something to go wrong? You want a situation in your life to get worse? Call law enforcement. There's nothing they can't screw up worse. And yet there's never accountability. Never. I was watching or listening to Long Island Audit today. He goes to court. He's got this corrupt judge that said, hey, he's not allowed to share a video online. What? It's like Donald Trump said, how am I supposed to defend myself when a judge put a gag order on me and I couldn't even talk about all the criminal, corrupt things they were doing to me in court? The chief's the one that sounded dangerous. When law enforcement says we're going to find a crime to arrest you for, they're setting you up to kill you. See, people think I was just out in my yard showing my ass on that video. I was just showing my ass to show my ass for the camera. Oh no. Don't mistake what I was doing. I was doing my best to stay alive. And if that means I got to scream loud for my son to come outside, him being out there with his camera may be the only thing that kept me alive. That may have been the only reason I'm not dead tonight. And don't think that I'm joking. Don't think there's one bit of jest in what I'm saying. I'm being dead serious. Cops do not care who they have to kill. They will openly tell you it doesn't matter what happens. I'm going to go home to my family no matter if you do or not. They are trained to kill you and ask questions later. That's what qualified immunity's for. I mean, we watched the video 6 months ago where they're training these cops on how to hide their body camera footage or how to do things around the body camera footage, teaching them how to kill people and get away with it. They're teaching them. Tim Kennedy was there doing the same guards. I've lost every bit of respect I have for Tim Kennedy. He's on there bragging about how cops can beat the hell out of somebody and kill them and get away with it. I mean, the Phoenix PD, I shared the video. They were teaching them guys, I don't care what happens, you go home. It don't matter if you kill everybody else as long as you go home safe. That's the law enforcement you want keeping you safe, where they put their life before yours. I don't want those people protecting my life and my children. Let me arm myself and take care of my family, because cops are always 10 minutes away when you don't have but 2 minutes. I mean, seriously, guys, when has cops prevented you from having a break-in at your home? People that don't, the cop suckers that have been attacking me all day, they think that if your house gets robbed, cops are going to show up with a CSI truck, and they're going to come to the front door in the backyard and take fingerprints. They think they're going to scroll through all your surveillance cameras. They think they're going to take pictures of all the damage. They think that's what it goes. They think that an investigation crew is going to show up and go find their stuff that got stolen. These dumbasses think that's what happens. They don't. You can't even get them to write a report. They'll say, well, if you'll come to the police station in a couple of days, we'll have a report ready. But if you want to bring us a list of what all's missing, we could probably put that in NCIS and then run it through our database and see if that stuff pops up on the pawn shop. But other than that, we don't really solve these crimes. And if you get the burglar, you get the people that's breaking your home, you get them on camera, they still will not use it as evidence. They'll say, well, that's just not clear enough. That's not clear enough to make a conviction. You think I'm telling a lie? See what happens one time. They don't care. All they're there to do is to turn the paperwork over to somebody else to write it up. That's it. They give it to the clerical ladies. The cops are just there to take your money and take your freedom. That's it. They're not saving you from anything. You ever seen a cop stop a bank robbery? Nope. They show up after the robbery's done. Domestic abuse, you'll get your ass beat by the time cops show up. Your girlfriend or boyfriend's already driving off. But you better be careful. Don't you dare be upset from getting your ass beat by your spouse. Because the cops, if you're upset enough, they'll arrest you for disorderly conduct. Seen it happen 1,000 times. You'll go to jail for something. But I'm just the bad guy. And nothing will change. Nothing will change. That's why YouTube is so valuable to exposing these corrupt cops. And listen, these big channels on YouTube, I've lost a lot of respect for them. What's up, Persia? I've lost a lot of respect for them because when I reached out and asked for help, nobody would help. Why? Because I'm just a little bit too far on that edge. I'm just a little too far. Well, that guy's talking about planes and drones falling. Okay, go through my videos and prove me wrong. Who in here is a targeted individual? Out of 11 people in here, how many are targeted individuals? If you're a targeted individual, put a 1. And then if you think I'm lying, put a 2. I've been documenting this abuse by government for the last 10 years. I've been documenting. Since they murdered my fiance in 2012 and blamed me for it. If you people don't think this program exists, you're foolish. William Binney will tell you it exists. Jesse Ventura will tell you it exists. How many more? How many more do I need to mention? How many people in the live chat right now tell you it's real? How many people in here get followed by drones? It's real. How many people get followed by airplanes? How many people get stalked everywhere they go? It's real. Oh, it's just your imagination. What do you think it means when you get put on a terrorist watch list? Do you think that they just give you a hassle at the airport? Is that what you think? What do you think they do for somebody that doesn't fly like me? Well, they surveil you. They follow you. They break in your house. Anybody that looks at the FBI right now, FBI, the federal law enforcement, anybody that looks at them right now and says, you know what, I got the most utmost respect for law enforcement, the feds. They do it by the book. They're the best ones in business. Really? That's what you think? They just spent 9 years going after Donald Trump because Donald Trump didn't think the way they did. Robert Mueller is one of the most corrupt prosecutors alive today. He put men in jail that he claimed were in the mob, but they're just guys that owned a pizza shop who did nothing wrong. Kamala Harris had a black man on death row, knew he was innocent, and did everything she could to keep him there so it wouldn't look bad on her. These people do not care about us. They hate everything about you, but you dumb self. I'm back to blue. I'm back to blue. And this is one thing that just I don't. Initially, I feel happy about it, but then it just disgust sweeps over me. When I watch videos online, because I'm in the algorithm, I get it all. And the one that really popped out the most is one I shared about a month and a half ago, where the dad is on his nice boat out in Florida. He's out there with his wife and the kids and friends with kids. And a cop pulls him over because he went a little too fast in the wake zone, puts him in handcuffs, does a DUI test. Guy's perfectly sober. The guy's like, "Hey, man, I'm on your team. I'm good friends with Ron DeSantis. I raise money for the police department. I raise money for you guys. I'm on your team." And that cop sitting there, "Sorry, man, you're drunk. I'm taking your freedom away." The cop would not listen. Then when the guy blows zeros, "Well, you're on something." And the guy's like, "But I'm on your side." The guy was pleased. "I'm on your side. I've got a clean record." That don't matter. Cops will take down anybody. I don't care who you are. Unless you're another cop or you're a judge and DA, you're going down. They do not care who you are. And it doesn't have anything to do with law. It doesn't matter about the law. Their job is to take your money or put you in a cage. Nothing else matters. I was on your side. By that time, it's too late. I was talking to the guy in town that I told you about a while back that's got a business, and his Bronco was stolen a couple years ago in Longview PD. The guy found his own Bronco, told Longview PD where it was, and Longview said, "Well, it's really going to be dangerous over there, so the best thing to do is just file it on the insurance. You just let him have it." 2 days later, they found his mint condition Bronco he bought new. He had it for 30 years. Found it in Lake Hickory. Longview wouldn't do anything about it. When I told that story on here, the chief of police showed up down there at the guy's store. And when it walked in there with the guy and his dad, said, "Is everything all right?" And they just looked at him like, "What do you mean is everything all right? Everything's fine here." He went down there because I'd mentioned they were disgusted with Longview Police Department. They were disgusted with their performance. The chief watched my video and goes down there like he's going to change their mind or to get a different story. I went in the same place the other day, and the guy's like, "Yeah." He said, you see that video on YouTube where the Christians were walking across America and cops grabbed him up and snatched him up because he parked on the right of way? I said, "Yeah, I watched that one." He said, "Well, there's another video." He said, "Another video out of like Ohio where they roughed the guy up for walking down the road." A Christian walking down the road trying to raise awareness for, I think, abortion or something, where they hemmed him up again. An innocent man doing nothing wrong. People are over it. Cops have used all their goodwill up. You see, but it doesn't matter what I say. All the trolls, I bet there's probably, let me see what my phone says. It says look, sorry, it's one of those guys. Ha, 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 ha. Just came by to laugh at you. If all you point out is true, blah, blah, blah. All the I love Van Balian. I guess that's the guy sharing my video. All these people, look at all these comments laughing. Dude, no one cares. You think this is over? Ha, ha, ha. Do as you say. See, he believes this stuff. The cops should get a raise. Some people will try anything. Yeah, follow the law. I needed a good laugh today. You're not a Jedi Knight. Ha, ha, ha. His shoulder popped back in. Yeah, my shoulder does pop in and out. Yeah. It's crazy that you acted like this. It's almost as if resisting arrest is against the law. See, look, It keeps on going. These people are evil. I'm not the evil one. These people are evil. When they can take that incident that happened in my, when they can look at that and think the cops did right, that's evil. These are the people in America. These are the people that hate you. Because as soon as something like that happens to you, they're going to laugh at you. But most of you people won't say nothing about it. You don't say a word. Where's all the men at? How many people on here see cops doing this kind of garbage and you don't get on the phone? Look, sovereign, it's a sovereign citizen. What did I say in that video made me a sovereign citizen? Did I start saying something like, I am not this person, I am the entity known as this person. I don't have to have a license plate on my car. I'm not a sovereign citizen. I want to follow the Constitution. But see, this is what they've done. They've corrupted the meaning. Oh, if you follow the Constitution, then you must be one of them far out people. That's because these people never heard they don't know what the Constitution means. They just know if them little blue, them disco lights go off on top of that car, that means you got to get on your hands and knees, assume the position, and get ready to kiss boots. These are the cowards in America today. These freaking cowards that want to get online and criticize somebody for just trying to be free. Criticizing someone who says, what's your reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime? See, if you're a lawyer and you do that, well, he's a lawyer. He's a lawyer. He knows better. What? You know how much training it takes to be a law enforcement officer? Some places 6 weeks. Some places with heavy training in 6 months. Ooh. North Carolina, it takes like 2 years to cut hair. These people can ruin your life forever and have no knowledge of the law. That concealed charge they put on me is bogus. It's bogus from top to bottom. Black powder cannot be a concealed weapon. It says it in the freaking in the GS 14409.11. It says it. Not applicable. Oh, you're a sovereign citizen. Oh, God forbid I know what my rights are. Oh. They pulled you over for a legitimate reason. Is it still legitimate even though he waited for me to drive by? Is it legitimate that they told me they were stalking me, told me they were trying to find me with a crime, and then they find me and then they get me and pull me over? It's legitimate, right? If it's so cut and dry and legitimate, why'd you edit the body camera footage? Where's the dash camera? Where's it at? If it's so legitimate, everything's up to par, everything's perfect. Anybody chatting anymore? Or everybody just quit talking? I done drove everybody away. Predictive policing. We've opened up a case file on you, Mr. Townsend. We're going through all your social media and we're going to study it. But yes, sir, we're investigating you because of your YouTube channel, what you share on Facebook. Mr. Townsend, you said that the only good cop is a dead cop. That's what you said, Mr. Townsend. You said that you were going to follow home my code enforcement officer. I take great offense to that. That you said you're going to follow home my code enforcement officer. Never said that. I said, what if I followed home the code Nazi and find violations in his yard? That's what I said. It's like people when they quote the Bible, judge not lest you be judged. You're supposed to judge. Well, you left off the rest of it, so it don't mean the same thing. That's what he said. He admitted it too. That's right, battle for your brain. That's what he said. Didn't get a chance to let my attorney hear that. She wasn't there for that. She's there to make a deal and get it over with. She collected her, probably made $1,000 to talk to me for 3 minutes. Anybody else, the few 8 people that are in here, what did that video about my lawyer, what she had to say, how did that make you feel? How do you feel? Does anybody in here think I got adequate representation from my attorney? I'll wait. I just want some interaction. Anybody that watches the body camera footage that I shared, watch it and then go look at the page that has the police report on it. And in the first 3 sentences, you see 3 lies. If I lie on a government document that I swear to, guess what happens to me? I get prosecuted for lying on a government document. I don't know if they consider that fraud, but lying on a government document is a crime. I get prosecuted when I lie on a government document. When a police officer does it, he gets what? Good job, man. Good job. We got him in court. You got him in jail. We've been after him for a while, and we finally got him. No, couldn't ask for another one. Nope. Because what you have to do is you have to have your attorney recuse himself, which is one court date. And then the judge will set another court date. And you got to go in front of the next judge. And then you either have to waive your rights to a court-appointed counsel and hire your own, or you have to hope that the judge will give you another attorney. But 99% of the time, the judges will never give you another attorney because they say, well, this is a good attorney. She does good for years. I don't know why you got a problem with her. Or they'll make you represent yourself right then and there. And because my attorney never talked to me, I wasn't able to get all the evidence that I needed to pursue my case. Now, you should have been prepared. Well, I should have had an attorney. The fact she refused to speak with you up until 10 minutes before your court appearance, and then it already worked a deal for you. What can you think besides this is just a big BS show? Like I said, until you've been in the system, you don't know nothing about it. I'm telling you guys, as hard as I am about the disgust I have for law enforcement, as much as everything they do to me infuriates me, I never in a million years, but no, let me not be that definitive. I just wouldn't have thought that they'd have broken the law by editing that video. I don't know why when I got that footage, I just knew that footage was going to be exactly the way it happened. For some reason, I just had faith in God that I'm putting a spotlight on these dumb sons of bitches and they're going to go edit the video. They're going to try to get away with this as loud as I am. They're going to do it. That's because they know nobody's got my back. They know nobody in the First Amendment community give a shit about what I say. Nobody cares. It doesn't affect them. It doesn't make them enough money. They're not going to highlight my case because I'm just a little bit too abrasive. So they don't care. I'm not on the, yes, sir, Mr. Officer. I don't have a tag. Okay, Mr. Officer, here's my ID. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can I please record you? I can't record you, officer. I'm so sorry. I'll sit it down. These channels that talk all that goddamn smack about, government accountability, they don't give a shit. They don't care. They want clicks and views. And if it shows me on here hating cops, they don't want to risk their gravy train. You know what? Sean Paul Reyes, Long Island Audits. When he first started, the very first case that he was in, he got convicted. He didn't break the law. He got convicted for his very first case. He walked up on a cop on a public sidewalk and was recording him. The cop said, step back. And Sean's like, it's a public sidewalk. And they locked him up right then there for interfering. He was convicted for interfering unlawfully. Sean Paul, he's one of the best in the business. He's got the biggest channel because he's polite and he's nice and he's very, and I criticized him because he never followed through. Well, once he showed me he followed through, I said, I got your back. But he thinks if he goes and trains law enforcement that everything's going to be better. He said, I dislike bad cops. He's already lost the plot. He's already lost. If there's somebody around me that's evil, I know they're evil. I can watch them. I can feel what's I know that they're evil to the bot. Everything in me. I'm a human lie detector. If somebody's trying to blow smoke on my ass, I freaking know it. I study body language. I watch everything somebody I can within 10 seconds of you talking to me, I can tell you if you're lying to me or not. And most of the time I can tell you exactly what you're lying about. I can see the truth by what you're saying. But Sean's like, I just dislike bad cops, but there's a lot of good cops out there. A bad cop could never survive in a department with good cops. The good cops would know he was bad and do everything in their power to remove him from duty. Where does that happen in America? They get rid of the good cop and keep the bad ones. He was lazy, immature, and disgusting. It was also calm, descending, and disrespectful. You like Lydia watched the smart shit. Battle for your brain. I'm being monitored from everywhere and here. They know you're everywhere. Yeah, have you been scammed by GPS microchips? They don't need a microchip in you anymore. If you need a refresh course, I'll clue you in. Look up resonant frequency. They don't need microchips anymore. There's so much nanotech in our bodies. They don't need any of that. They just don't need it. I believe it. The last time I was involuntarily committed by Tina, they shot me up. I refused everything. I said, I don't want you touching me. And they held me down and infused me. They put something in my arm and I was completely blacked out for 2 weeks. I lost 2 weeks. So there's no telling what they did with me for 2 weeks. I have no idea what they did. But they don't need that technology. They don't need microchips anymore. There's nanotechnology. But once they have your resonant frequency, you're done. I don't want to get deep in that tonight because there's people here that don't. That's going to make everybody believe, oh, yeah, he is god dang nuts. He's just not a sovereign citizen. He's crazy too. I dare anybody to go back through my catalog of videos and see me recording these drones and deny it. Nobody even believed in drones when I was recording until that stuff happened in New Jersey. And now they say, oh, they weren't really drones. That's just Venus. So why were law enforcement watching me? I didn't break the law. I just talked about them. There you go. All you have to do is speak negatively of law enforcement and they'll investigate you. Just telling me that is a violation of my civil rights. Just telling me we're going to glut your videos and find a crime to arrest you for it. That's a violation. That's chilling my speech. But I didn't get a chance to say that to my attorney. That doesn't have anything to do with this case. Well, she'd already worked it out. She'd already worked the deal. So that's why I'm going this week to the DA's office. Today's Sunday, right? I'm going to the DA's office tomorrow. Scott Riley's the DA. I'd appreciate you guys calling to Scott Riley and telling him what's going on. Tell him how Longview PD edited and doctored the body camera footage. Please call Scott Riley, DA in Catawba County, North Carolina, at the Catawba County Justice Center. The number will start with 828-695. Call in, talk to Scott Riley. Tell him that Taylor, some chick in there named Taylor, convicted me unlawfully. Concealed carry doesn't apply to black powder. Battle for your brain. You're just being distracted. Worrying about if you've been chipped is just a distraction. Doesn't matter. You can go right now and get a scan showing every single microchip in your body, and it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because every Tom, Dick, and dumbass, including law enforcement and the feds, will tell you, well, you probably just edited this. You just made this up. It doesn't matter. It's not going to get it out of your body. They don't even need the microchips anymore. They don't need any of that, dude. They have, once they have your DNA, they have your resonant frequency. They have, I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. It's not going to change anything. The more you worry about the stuff in your body, the more crazy they're going to drive you. I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm not trying to be dismissive. I'm just telling you the best thing you can do as a targeted individual is disconnect. Don't focus on it. Ignore what's happening. If you need to document privately. Privately document. But the more you concentrate on it, the more you're going to be afflicted. Sorry. If you don't think that's sound advice, then I would try it and see if life gets a little better. Every man, woman, and child in America is being monitored. They don't need microchips in you. They don't need to implant you. We've got nanotechnology that's been dumped on us from the sky, pulsing through our veins. They don't even need that now. They've got your resonant frequency. I was too, Gabby. But see, this is the problem with the American people. They are so dumbed down. They think everything that chief said was above board. They think everything he said was legit. Oh, well, he's allowed to investigate you for your speech. You could be a terrorist. He's allowed to do that. No. Now, investigate me is one. But purposefully recording my son out front, that was intimidation. They did that. And just like he said, well, Mr. Townsend, if we didn't want you to know he's doing it, we wouldn't have let you never know it. Exactly. That's the point. Intimidation doesn't work unless somebody knows you're doing it. That was the point. Intimidate me so I'll shut up. Why did they do it then? Because if you remember, I was silent for 4 months. I quit posting on YouTube. I didn't say a word. Battle for your brain. You don't want to argue with me about Havana syndrome. It's not Havana syndrome. It's voice of God weapons. And by the way, yes, I am afflicted with voice of God weapons. So you don't understand what you're talking about. I'm Gabby, help Battle for your brain. Inform them that I know more than he'll find out the next 20 years investigating. I'll talk to you after the live stream and I'll help you. But you have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to me. I teach people this stuff. See, nobody else believes it. I believe it. So you're preaching to the choir. But I can show you things that you have no idea. You have no clue. And the more you go research it and the more you're sunk in it, when you're drowning in all that information, all it will do is eat you from the inside. Life will not get better the more you're sunk in it. The best advice I can give to any targeted individual is disconnect. Disconnect. Quit looking. Quit hearing. Quit searching. Just live. Before you get out of your bed in the morning, pray. Before you eat a meal, pray. Before you do anything, pray. The Bible says pray without ceasing. Pray morning, noon, and night. But if every day is spent online and researching this and researching that, and that guy's stalking me or that guy's stalking this, it's just like filming the drones. I only do it every once in a while to let everybody know it's still happening. The planes still follow me just as much as they ever did. I mean, I probably got more proof of the aerial stalking than anybody, and it's been outlawed by the Supreme Court of the Fourth Circuit. I'm in the Fourth Circuit. It's been outlawed. They have to have a search warrant. So why do they have a warrant for me? Why do they have a warrant? I never used to be. I wasn't an activist. I never was an activist. They caused me this way by torturing me my whole life. But people think, he's just a sovereign citizen. He just don't like to follow the law. Alan Dershowitz, I'll repeat it again for the 100th time. Alan Dershowitz, one of the greatest legal minds alive today, taught at Harvard for 40 years, taught law at Harvard for 40 years, recently represented Donald Trump in the impeachment hearings. He said the average American commits 4 felonies a day. In reality, everyone here, everyone driving in those cars on taxpayer dollars with the disco balls on top, every man, woman, and child in America are criminals. Every one of us break the law because the laws are so wide and broad and vague that every single one of us would go to prison right now for simply existing. That's a police state. Dan Bongino, former Secret Service. He's got a movie coming out. Police State USA. Even he says all law enforcement is out of control. But the sheep. If you just listen to them, you just wear your seatbelt. If they tell you to get down on your hands and knees, you got to do it. No, if they ask for your ID, you have to give it. Cops have gotten away with this for so long. Why? Because people don't know their rights. Just like Eric said, what was going to happen to me was going to happen no matter what I did. I could have licked his freaking boots right there in the driveway. It didn't matter. I was going to go to jail. If he said I resist arrest all the way through it, then why did he wait until 20 minutes in interaction when he wanted to talk to me and I kept talking over it? He said, well, that's it. I've now decided you resisted arrest. Which was it? Me asking questions? Was it me shaking my head? Was it, when did I tense up? When finally you had enough of me talking, now you're resisting. See, I could have said that on the stand if I'd had the opportunity. I'll let you guys fight my battles in the comment section. And if you fight my battle, I appreciate it. It'd be best that I don't even look at the comments because it's, you know me, I'm a fighter. But internet trolls are the worst. They're as bad as cop suckers can get because they're anonymous and they'll do it. A cop can beat someone to death on camera and they will cheer for the cops. Well, you shouldn't have said no to that cop. That's why your brains are spread over the sidewalk. You deserve it. That's the evil we're dealing with today. You guys got anything else? I'm beat. Any other questions, comments? Please, anybody on here, go back through my videos. There's drone videos, there's airplane videos, there's stalking videos, there's videos about what's happened with this case. The police chief's recording saying, I'm watching you. We'll watch all your videos because we're going to arrest you for a crime because of your videos. The probable cause of them stalking me is all right there. Listen to the lawyer video. That's a pretty good video. That thing ought to have thousands of views. But because I'm just too abrasive, I'm just too obnoxious, I'm just too loud. Also have a wild other take on what happened, but too much to type. Welcome to chat about it. I'll talk to you about anything, Eric. It's all corrupt. It's all evil. You would think that the cop suckers would say to themselves, because remember, guys, and this is what blew me away when that lawyer was talking to me. Well, at least you didn't get probation. At least you didn't get anger management. At least you didn't get community service. Why would anger management? And she said, at least you didn't get drug and alcohol classes. Why would that even be on? Why would I even have to do that? Why would I even have to go to drug and alcohol classes when nothing had to do with drugs and alcohol? Why would anger management be a punishment if I wasn't even angry? I wasn't angry. My PTSD was triggered. I was freaking triggered by PTSD. I wasn't angry. Sitting there speaking. In fact, I'm more mad about it now than I was that night when it's happening. So why would all these be a consequence when it had nothing to do with it? Because government controls it all. Government's got friends in government. Oh, hey man, I tell you what, Bob, you go open up a counseling agency and then we'll convict him. You will convict him of a crime and send him to you. Hey, Joe, won't you open up a drug and alcohol place and then we'll convict him and send him to you? Hey, Mary, won't you open up anger management classes and we'll send them to you? Hey, Bob, open up a Salvation Army and you need free labor? We'll send them to you. And guess what? All these organizations get tax dollars, so then the system builds more money on top of itself. Why would that even be a consequence? I don't do drugs. Well, they could have gave you drug and alcohol classes. For what? They didn't find weed in my car. They didn't find drugs. They didn't find meth. And a couple comments today said, well, you're just a meth head. Why? What makes me a meth head? What? Oh, I'm from the South. Oh, I've got tattoos. Oh no, I've got a beard. Oh, I got long hair. Oh, I talk funny. Oh, what makes me a meth head? This is how programmed the American people are. Oh, there's got to be a reason that you didn't want to give your license to the cops. They didn't have a right to my license. That's why. No, see, that's how dishonest these goddamn stupid cop-sucking, babbling idiots are. They don't know what their rights are. Cop asks you to do something, you got to do it. He's got to. No, they don't. When the American people say, I've had enough of this bullshit. I've had enough of being stopped every time I'm trying to go to work. I've had enough of being stopped every time I go home. I'm tired of being harassed everywhere I go by law enforcement. Why can't they just leave us the freak alone? Because when I call them for help, they're never here. The illegal alien next door pulled a goddamn machete on me, a 3.5 foot long machete on me. And you know what law enforcement did? Jack shit. Nothing. My house has been broken into dozens of times. What did they do? Nothing. Predator catchers come to High Point, North Carolina, and bust a pedophile. And what do? Nothing. But God forbid you drive down the road and try to go to work. License insurance, please. Oh, well, you went 3 miles over speeding. That's speeding. That's 4 points, state of North Carolina. Oh, you don't have a tag in your car. I got to take your freedom away. What are we doing? You're right, Eric. You're right, Eric. You're exactly right. Everybody read Eric's comment. I'll read it. Whew, I'm triggered. Because it didn't go how they thought it would. You shut them down and didn't take their bait. They had planned to be able to throw all this in the kitchen sink at you, but you didn't resist. It's true. That cop thought that I was going to act the way I did with the state trooper that pulled me over a couple months ago when he waited for me at the top of the road and pulled me over in my driveway again. Remember that? Gives me a seatbelt ticket. I chased him back to his car and told him to get the hell out of my yard. That's what they thought was happening. I didn't give it to them. I didn't give them what they expected. So they had to make the crime happen. That's why I'm so pissed off about this goddamn plea. That's why I'm so pissed off about this. Did not even get a chance to defend myself in court. Granted, in a corrupt system, this is the best outcome. It's just money. It's just time and money. In a corrupt system, this is the best outcome. In a just system, this is coercion and robbery under duress. They took money from me. They took my pistol. My pistol didn't do anything wrong. The DA put in the order to destroy my pocket knives too. I said, oh, no. Why you got to destroy my knives? Well, they were confiscated. That's part of the case. They weren't part of the case. That should tell everybody right there how corrupt this is. And I haven't shared it yet, but I'll share the video when he was begging the freaking magistrate. What about the pocket knives? He had 2 pocket knives. That one was hanging on his belt, and the other one was in his pocket. Those are concealed weapons too, right? And the magistrate's like, well, we'd have to measure. They were going to measure and possibly they did measure my pocket knives to try to add more goddamn charges. Is anybody getting this but me? Why am I the only one that notices this shit? God, I'm freaking furious right now. Took my pocket knife. Whoa. So let me get this straight. Mr. Townsend, you're extremely violent, man. You're a dangerous man, Mr. Townsend. And I said, Chief, you sound like you're scared. Oh no, Mr. Townsend. No, I'm not scared. Well, see, I just killed his whole goddamn alibi then. If the chief's not scared of me, then what's all this for? If cops are not scared of me, why all this? See, talking out of both sides of their goddamn mouths. I was going to say something else. and take the bait. I guess, Eric. Like I said the other day, they're not stealing from me. That was God's money. God put that money in my pocket. The day before court, I sell 3 trailers that's been sitting in my yard for 6 months. I sell every one of them to one guy. And then another man shows up in the afternoon to buy 2 windows off me that I've had for a year and a half. God put $900 in my pocket. That covered my court cost. I just thought about this. Check this out. My court cost was $332. My Bronco was $625. I made $900 the day before court. That's God's money. This is what they don't get. See, and if you guys heard that BS, that piece of garbage captain blew up my ass. He said, "Well, Mr. Townsend, I pray all the time. I'm a Christian, as you say you are, and I pray to horse shit." I'm going to say this again. You cannot be law enforcement in America today and be a Christian. You cannot do it. You can't do it. Because the Supreme Court has told you you can lie like a dog. When these terror, why ain't this worked? Terror pigs. The pigs are the terrorist. Terror pigs. Terrorist, terror pigs. The cops are the terror pigs. Terror pigs can't stand in front of God and say, "Well, God, the Supreme Court told me that I'm allowed to lie to people so I can arrest them, Lord. So I'm forgiven, right?" Is that how that's going to work? God, that man, he had a rack on the back of his truck, and I know that my deputy lied, my officer lied in his police report, and I know that we hid the body camera footage so he couldn't represent himself correctly. We took justice out of his hands. We did, God, but we did it because I'm a law enforcement officer. That ain't gonna fly. I don't want to go to hell. I give up a lot of carnal fun to be a Christian. I used to like to drink. I used to like to party, and I used to love women. I have forgotten more about my carnal self than most men have experienced in their lives. And you don't have to believe me. You can look at how I look now. I'm getting older and grayer, and I ain't as pretty as I used to be. And you don't have to believe a word that comes out of my mouth. But I'm just telling you, I don't lie. I have forgotten more about how to please women than most men will ever know in their lives. I was so good, I got paid for it. I gave all that up. I gave drinking and drugging and ladies up. I gave up everything to be a Christian. And I am not a good Christian. Nobody's a good Christian. Nobody. Bible said, Jesus says there's not one good amongst us. But I'll tell you what, never in my life will I take a paycheck for stealing a man's freedom. Never in my life will I accept $1 ransom to rob some man trying to get home from work. Never in my life would I dare putting a family at risk. Did you hear any compassion coming from that terror pig? Did you have any compassion? Cool story, bro. Did you hear any? I'm hurting. I'm hurt. My PTSD's triggered. Boom. Flashlight in my face. Any compassion? No. I said, man, just write me a ticket. Oh, you want a ticket now, huh? You know you're guilty. No. I'm going to court anyway. Why you got to push it farther? See, that's what people don't understand. Nobody understands. I wasn't playing for the camera. I didn't put on a show for the camera. Everything that came out of my mouth was for the court. Everything. Because you know as well as I do now. And if you don't think that body camera is edited, you're a fool. If you don't narrate every second when you're being harassed by law enforcement, you have to narrate every second. That way you can go back to it. If God forbid that you don't get stuck with a crooked body camera, you narrate what's going on. You tell them everything you're feeling. If you're hurt, you say you're hurt. If your shoulder's dislocated like mine was, then you say my shoulder's dislocated. See, it didn't go to court when I was in the back seat. They never put a seatbelt on me. So I'm back here bouncing around the back seat with goddamn handcuffs. So this kid's doing 83 miles an hour in a 40-mile-an-hour zone all the way to the goddamn hospital. 83 miles an hour in a cop car. Well, boy, it'd be a hell of a time to get pulled over, wouldn't it? What if we'd have gotten wrecked and I'd have bounced across the back of that goddamn car and got killed? But no, guess what? They didn't give me that I requested. I requested the GPS data with the dash cam. I requested all that information, but I didn't get it. I requested their login, the chief's logins for his computer for the last 3 years. Didn't get none of that. I requested the messages for the cops because that cop was on his phone text messages. That's how he knew to be where he was. Because it was everything was orchestrated to get me. And anybody that thinks that's a conspiracy theory, you're out of your goddamn mind. When a law enforcement chief tells you, we're watching you. We're watching your channel. We know you hate us. And I'm going to find a way to arrest you. You better take that man for his word. Because I did. I took him seriously when he said that. Don't think that I've slept a good night since he's threatened me. Don't think I don't lay on that goddamn couch and hear everything that happens on my front porch. Don't you think when a goddamn bird lights out there on the porch that I don't hear it? When a cop tells you in no uncertain terms, we're going to kill you, that I don't believe him. So when I'm on the front yard screaming and all these other little goddamn trolls, oh, I laughed my ass off when you scream. Don't you think I wasn't screaming for nothing at all? Don't you think I'm screaming for the camera? I'm screaming for my goddamn life. And if you think that law enforcement won't kill you, it don't matter if you got a blue line sticker on the back of your car. It don't matter if you say you blow cops at the park every freaking night on a bumper sticker. If they want to kill you, they're going to do it and they're going to get away with it. Ain't a goddamn thing you're going to do about it. There's nothing you can say to them to change it. When they're determined they're going to take your freedom, take your money, and kill you in the process, they're going to do it. And if they got to hide your body, they're going to do it. If they got to get their buddies to help them, they're going to do it. If they got to go to the DA and set you up on something else, they're going to do it. Don't you ever put anything past law enforcement. They do not care about you. They don't care about your life. They don't care about your kids. They don't care about where you live at. They care nothing about you. You are nothing more than a number. You are a conviction. You are a raise. They're the next step on the goddamn ladder for them to move up. Because guess what? If they don't make bust, if they don't make arrest, if they don't put people in cages, they don't get a raise. They don't get more money for their family. And I'll tell you one thing. They'll murder your whole family if it means they get a $2 more on the hour. That's what they said, Dustin. That's what they said. I'm spent. Thanks for being here. For the folks that's been with me for a long time, I do appreciate you. This is more conversation on Words Tonight than I've gotten 3 years from this house. So I appreciate you more than you know. I would ask you and implore you. I'll beg you guys to pray for me. You don't have to believe it or not, but I've been in danger for a long time from law enforcement, from the feds. I've been in danger my entire life. And I'll be honest with you. I don't know how to be a coward. I don't know how to shut up. I don't know how to see men, women, and children online get beaten up and get abused. I don't know how to see cops abuse people every single day and just say, oh, well, I don't know how to do that. I don't have it in me to excuse that behavior. If being compassionate for my fellow man makes me a bad guy, I'm your Huckleberry. I loathe law enforcement. I hate them for what they do to us every day. I'm so sick of seeing black folks in America get abused. I'm so sick of black folks thinking that every cop's going to kill them, because they will. Now, there's not a war on black folks in America. Don't get me wrong. But I guarantee you right now, as much as just as sure as I'm sitting here, if cops roamed the neighborhoods of rich neighborhoods like they do the Hill over here in Southeast Hickory, North Carolina, if cops roamed these gated communities like they do in these black neighborhoods of Hickory, North Carolina, these goddamn rich people wake the hell up. They'd be pissed off about it. They get sick every time they drive down their road. They're getting pulled over for a seatbelt or a sticker or their window tint. They get sick of being harassed every goddamn day because some goddamn little dick pig has got to pull them over so they can make some kind of bust. But it's class warfare. It's class war. It's war on the poor. These rich people don't know jack shit about being poor. They don't know what it's like to be accountable law enforcement. How many Mercedes-Benz you see on the side of the road being pulled over? How many Range Rovers get pulled over? How many Lexuses get pulled over? Tell me. I get facially profiled everywhere I go. They look at my little old Ranger out here with a gray fender and a camper top. That's got to be some kind of dope head. That's some poor white trash. Well, let's get him. Because I choose to drive my little truck. My little truck's got less miles on anything sitting at the police department. Thank you, Eric. Just pray for my safety, guys. When criminals go to rob a place and they don't steal everything they want, they always come back for more. So the criminals that just robbed me of my pistol and a little bit of money and time, they want more. They want to see me behind bars. I'm not dangerous to them. This is. This is dangerous. America. Who would think in America that you would be targeted by law enforcement from your words? But Black Lives Matter can burn the country down to $2 billion and murder 16 people. People like, what's his name, Daniel Perry in New York, grabs that thug that's trying to abuse women on a bus or on a subway and accidentally kills him, accidentally smothers him to death, and they prosecute that man. Kyle Rittenhouse defends his life, shoots a pedophile and kills him, blows the arm off another man that's pointing a pistol right at him, and they prosecute him. Those were cops that arrested him. The cops could have said, no, I'm not making this arrest, but they didn't, because there's no accountability. Everywhere, all across this country, better men than me are having their whole lives wrecked from law enforcement. But the sheep, they have to do their job. No, they don't. If these cops in these freaking police departments in America had just half of one of my testicles, a corrupt cop wouldn't be in their organization. But they're scared. They're scared of accountability. They're scared of debt. They're scared they're not going to have enough money. I made more money than most of these cops will ever see in their freaking lives. And it didn't mean nothing. Even now. I ain't got much money in my name, but it ain't mine anyway. But I would never sell my soul for a freaking badge. I would never in my life. If I saw a father down in his luck with his kids in the car, and I pulled him over for an inspection sticker or a dead tag, knowing that man, if he'd had the money, he'd have put that sticker on his tag. Knowing if he had the money, instead of eating, he would have put a tag on his car. There's no way in God's green freaking earth would I give that man that $300 ticket to take money he didn't have again. That's the difference between this man, and that swine at police departments. They're freaking disgusting. And if the number 3 man, Longview Police Department, if he doesn't resign, he ain't no better than all of them that rigged this whole thing up. He ain't no god dang better. He can say, well, I'm sticking it out to make chief and then I'll change it. No, that ain't good enough. You ain't no better than the ones that rigged it. You're no better than the ones that rigged it. You know they were waiting for me. You know they rigged the body camera footage. They know that whole goddamn thing was a setup. You got a YouTube channel. Oh, you're that one with the YouTube channel. Come on, Channing. Oh, Channing. Oh, Mr. Townsend Channing. Oh, I ain't got his ID yet. I don't know who he is. God bless.